Okay. So, Kaumudi, uh, we shall start, and I must congratulate you for doing very good lessons.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I saw that you have taken, or you have tried to take everything that we discussed last time, which is very good. I have seen a difference also. Last time I did not emphasize on lesson plans actually. Today I would like to show you some of the things I will ask you. I'm not going to, talk negatively about your lesson plans, but I'll ask why you did so, and you may think of that, right? Think of that. Yeah. So overall, both lessons were, quite okay, right? That's why I congratulated you. And I know that it's very difficult for you, like you are a very young teacher, good looking young teacher, to handle that type of, student group. But you did it very well. All three lessons, you managed to do it very well.
Thank you,
So that
ma'am.
is a very positive remark that I can do. Make the thing is, I didn't expect. I mean, you are very pretty, good looking, and all were men in the class, surrounded by 40, 50, 30, 25 men, right? They are not just boys, no, right?
Yeah,
But you have that, ability to managing, and while having a good rapport with them,
mm,
right?
yeah,
Your classroom management was really good, and
mm,
also you maintain a very good rapport with them.
mm,
I mean, even that your age difference is very,
mm,
you know,
yeah,
it's very little now
yes.
between them and you. So I like that very much.
Thank
Many
you, ma'am.
teachers cannot do it.
Mm,
Many teachers cannot do it. Yeah. Okay, so now I will take, can I take one by one the things that I want you to think, right? These are
exactly,
not,
ma'am.
I'm not talking negatively about your things, but for you to think,
Mm,
right?
yeah,
Think, and if you want, you can, you don't have to agree with me, right? You
mm,
can just reflect on what I say.
mm,
And if you think that those should be taken and uh, be reflective, and so that you can, you know,
yeah,
improve a bit, like that, right? So
yes,
I'm not, imposing anything on you, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to, shall I, yeah. Now overall, I said your lesson was very good, and but I was not able to, some parts I was not able to see, right?
Yes.
Because this is, yeah. So I don't want to penalize you because of that, right?
Mm,
Because overall I saw it was a good lesson, right? And you tried your best, right? But don't stop there, because you can
mm,
improve a lot. You have that
yeah,
capacity, that potential.
mm,
So I strongly believe you can become a much better teacher.
mm,
You are a very good teacher, but you can become the best
yeah.
teacher that you think, right? Yeah. So I just want to ask about, first, can I take your lesson plan first on the
Yes, ma'am.
14th? Do you have it
On
with you now?
14. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. Kamudi, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm finding the lesson plan. I'm trying to share it.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can have it
Ah,
with you. Just to
okay.
look at it. Yeah, yeah. I have my comments. So I'm just jumping to overall teaching aim. Can you see that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in your
Uh,
I'm okay. Your lesson plan is with you, no?
yes,
So
madam, you
yeah,
have
in
highlighted
overall
that, right?
sorry,
You have highlighted that, right?
what do you mean? I
In
have
my,
my notes with me.
yeah, I can see that you have highlighted certain things.
Okay, no, no,
Yes.
no. I just stop. I wanted to highlight, then I just stop.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one highlighted thing is the overall teaching aim. That is
Mm,
to teach the key responsibilities of crew members in a ship so that the students will be able to describe the roles of each crew member.
yes.
What do you think? I mean, when you reflect on that, what do you think? Do you have any?
Like, ma'am, you want me to reflect on students' performance or on how
No, no.
they,
The
yeah.
overall, the writing of the overall aim of your
Uh,
lesson. You are an English teacher.
mm,
Your aim is to teach them English, right? How to communicate using English. So why do you have this overall teaching aim? There is no language part in that,
yes,
right?
yes.
So all your lesson outcomes, objectives, learning outcomes must have
A language
some
part.
kind of, yeah, communication part using English language. But this doesn't have, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how can you correct it, Kaumudi?
Uh,
Then again, when it comes to specific objectives, learning outcomes, look at from activity 1 to 4, cognitive. Students will be able to identify the role of each crew member,
mm,
right? Then cognitive. Then again, the students will be able to compare and determine the most appropriate duty of the given crew member in the deck department.
yeah.
So all these don't have any language involvement. So it's like you are doing a CLIL lesson, content
Yes.
language integrated lesson, where you are the content teacher, subject, mainstream teacher. So the mainstream teacher, for example, if you teach bio
Yeah.
for A-level class, if you are teaching it through English, right? Let's take like a university. In a university, if you are teaching, for example, discourse analysis, or let's take social science, your aim is on social science, the not on the language part.
Yeah.
So here you are acting like that, the content
Mm,
teacher, mainstream teacher, right?
yes.
You are going towards the hard CLIL.
Mm,
Hard CLIL. Now I think you are using soft CLIL because you are teaching the content that you are using in your lessons.
mm,
Contents are always some, ship related things. No, maritime English, no, right? So, but yours must be on soft CLIL side. You are a
yeah.
language teacher. So
Mm,
your all aims, learning outcomes, learning objectives must be something related to
language.
language. So how can you correct this? Can you give me one example?
Mm. Um,
Rather
applying the,
than saying that if you take that from activity 1 to, okay, rather than this overall teaching aim එක ගන්න බලන්න, to teach the key responsibilities of crew members in a ship. That's not your aim.
mm,
Via that, through that, you are teaching them English, no? Being a
yes.
crew member, after understanding their responsibilities, how can they act, communicate as crew members?
Yeah.
Isn't it your, responsibility to teach?
Yes, ma'am.
So how can you don't have to give a very good answer. How can
Yeah.
you just amend this?
to teach the present simple tense.
No, you don't have to. Present simple tense cannot. This is not present simple tense. Huh? Is this simple present tense? This is lesson 14. Is it simple present? No. To extract specific information and
From a given text.
yeah.
Yes.
So
To teach to teach how to extract specific information from a given text so that students will be able to describe the roles of crew members using the extracted.
describe the yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, yeah. To understand, read and understand the responsibilities of the crew members. That
Yeah.
is one thing, no?
Yes.
Specific responsibilities of the crew members. And also, since it's a speaking, communications may involving speaking, you can use the one that you said now, right? To
Yes.
express. Yeah. So hereafter, when you are writing lesson plans, please make sure that all learning objectives and also learning outcomes must involve something related to communication using English,
Mm.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you agree with me? Or you
Yes,
can
ma'am.
just, yeah, you can say, no, I can't agree with you, ma'am. You can say if you don't. What do you think?
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you because it's a language ESP classroom. So, as the ESP teacher, I have to focus on language aspect of the content.
Yeah. Yeah. So hereafter, change your, I mean, now this is more or less the content teachers, the I mean, mainstream teachers, those who are teaching them responsibilities of the ship crew members and all,
Yeah.
right? Okay, right. Okay. So that's all. And also then in psychomotor, right? Under specific objectives or learning outcomes, you have written students will be able to apply the knowledge they gain on duties associated with maintenance on deck department of a ship. Neither deck
Yes,
department.
technical.
Yeah. So then, what do you mean by apply the knowledge they gain? It's you are referring to the responsibilities that they would understand, right?
Yeah.
Not English, right? This is psychomotor.
Yes, ma'am.
Either they will speak or write or
Mm,
act. Psychomotor.
mm, mm.
And
Yeah.
so they must something involving speaking, something involving writing, something involving acting,
Mm,
something involving presenting, something involving drawing, any act. That is why it is called psychomotor.
okay, ma'am.
So how would you correct it if you are going to correct this?
Students will be able to apply the knowledge they gained on duties associated with maintenance on the department to act uh, roles of crew members, to act out the roles of the
Yeah,
crew
that's okay.
members. Ma'am, is that correct? To act out the roles of the crew members?
Yeah, that's okay. That's
Mm.
okay. Act out. Yeah. And express.
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So they are communicating, right?
Mm.
Because your role is that you are a language teacher. Okay. Yeah, the other one that I like it very, very, very much, the way that you got their acts, the group work recorded, and then played them back, and then got them, reflect,
Yeah.
right? Reflect on how they acted those things, right? I like it very much, right? For adult students, that's a very good thing.
Mhm.
But I have a very small, concern. Did you talk about the inhibition that they might, face, and also how the self confidence might affect, right? When they are listening to their own errors and mistakes, and because they are adults. Did you talk
Mm-mm-mm.
about it explicitly before doing that?
Uh, Before get them to listen to their own
Did you do that?
recordings.
I didn't hear it and I didn't see it in the lesson.
Uh, Ma'am, you mean
Yeah,
before getting them to? Mhm.
before you record it, did you ask their permission?
Yes, yes,
And okay, not only asking permission, before asking permission, did you directly talk about about the things that they might feel when
yes.
they listen to their own error? Did you talk it,
Yes, ma'am. Like that's
discuss?
something that is something I tell them maybe every time, in order not to be very conscious about each and every grammar part in this speech. First thing, to be confident and very comfortable with me and the classroom. So, and as a result, ma'am, I
Very good, very
strongly
good.
believe that that this happens because of that my words, because of my words, and some
Yeah,
people, not some, most of the students, they put so much effort to talk, to put some words into a sentence and talk. I think they are not inhibited because they know I welcome their errors and difficulties and stuff like that. They are not embarrassed actually.
yeah, very good. Yeah, yeah, very good, very good. That's the way that the teachers must do, Kaumudi.
And
Yeah,
ma'am, they take so
very
much
good.
time to speak in front of the class, but I ask them, not, that's fine. Take your time to process and come up with your sentence. It's at least one or two sentences. So they're so comfortable.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's really good. That's really good. Right? You should, I think, before recording it, when you talk about explicitly talk about how they might feel when they listen to their own performance with
Mhm.
errors and all these things, please explicitly talk about. You have done it. Very good.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that they are prepared to listen to their own, and
Yeah.
you must have heard about shame and shaming in English language, no? They
Yes.
are new theoretical lenses looking at students shame and shaming, right?
Mhm.
So those are very good things that you have done. I like that very much,
And ma'am,
right?
they listen to their own
Yeah.
recordings multiple times.
Okay, very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
they
So
started
they
making fun
realize.
of their
Yeah.
own language and stuff like that. They really enjoyed that.
Yeah, very good. You know, breaking the barrier of inhibition
Yes.
will end everything, and they will become very fluent
Mhm.
when you disregard their accuracy, right? Okay, thank you, very good. Okay, then I just wanted to ask another thing, the while reading thing, right? While reading, they you prepared three activities, activity 2, 3 and 4. You did it. I think most of the activities involve not production of language, just filling in,
Oh,
recognition of language, no? Filling the gaps.
yes, ma'am.
I personally think you would have used fill in the gaps exercise in on one or maximum two activities, and other activities you should have engaged students in another activity where we are not just filling gaps, but more production,
Mm-mm.
more production. I personally think like that. If I did that lesson, I would have done like that,
Mm.
right? What I am you understand what I emphasize, ne?
Yes, ma'am.
Rather than just recognition of language.
Mm.
Now, why when your students fill the gaps, they just recognize language,
Mm.
not produce language,
Mm.
right? So always try to use more production activities,
Mm. Yes.
right? Production in the sense, I'm not talking about final production stage, right, Kaudi?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the practice stage.
Mm-mm.
So even in practice stage, it's better if you can engage your students in more productive practice,
Mm.
right? Think of that, Kaudi,
Okay, ma'am.
right? Yeah, okay. And another one thing, yeah, another thing that I wanted just to think of it. Uh, in rubrics, you have written one thing that vocabulary and grammar uses advanced level vocabulary. Vocabulary.
Mm.
What do you think of that? How did you explain the students about it? I didn't hear that.
Uh, Explaining the criteria, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm talking about rubrics that you have because you discussed rubrics with students and
Yeah.
you gave the rubrics to students to self-evaluate.
Yes.
Etakota Kamudi, you have in one criterion,
Mm.
in that criteria, there is one criterion on vocabulary and grammar. There you talk about users advanced level vocabulary. Did you give the students the differentiation between advanced level vocabulary and simple vocabulary?
I really didn't give that difference, ma'am. I just emphasized on the fact that they have to focus on the accuracy of grammar in their language that they produce.
Hmm. Vocabulary, advanced level vocabulary, you have written it now
Yeah,
in one of the criteria.
yes. They also, ma'am, I didn't very thoroughly emphasize what.
No, no, I'm not talking about emphasizing. How did your students understand the phrase advanced level vocabulary? They have to understand it, no?
Yeah,
Differentiation between advanced level vocabulary and simple vocabulary to assess.
yes.
You missed it, no?
Yes, 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 ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So think of all these things, right?
Mhm.
When you are giving, because the
Yes, ma'am.
students don't know, no, what is
Yeah,
advanced level vocabulary, what is simple vocabulary,
yes.
right? You can show them differences. This is
Mm-mm.
advanced level and this is, right? Think of
Mm-mm.
all these. That is where your reflection is very, very important. Kaumudi,
Mm-mm.
I even in your two reflections that you have written, they are not reflections actually
Mm-mm.
because you have not been taught. I think the all students are like that. Last time also I emphasized on reflections, how to do reflections. Did you have a lesson on reflections in your teaching practica?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, but you have not learned that. That's the thing.
Ma'am, how about the last two reflection, which was based on this 14th lesson? How was that?
I'm talking about
Oh,
that. Yeah, I'm talking about that. So I will go to your reflections now, right?
okay, ma'am.
Okay. So where is your reflection? Post session reflection. Okay. Okay, Kaumudi. Let's take your reflections because they are the most important because we are thinking of two acts of reflection
Mm.
in action, while you are doing the class, you are reflecting in your action, right? In action. While in action, you are reflecting because you need to take, very instant decisions. A teacher is always doing action research in the class, right?
Yeah.
While in, you have to deviate, you have to add, you have to delete some things, right? Depending on the circumstances.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that is reflecting in action. And also reflecting on action is what you write now.
Oh,
Reflection on action, because you reflect back, think
okay.
back on what you have done, and then write your reflections. And these reflections must include reflection for development, reflections for.
Mm.
Next time when I am doing this lesson, what should I add? What should I omit?
Mm.
What improvements can I do? So those are reflections for. So
Mm.
three types of reflections: in action, reflections on action, and reflections for
Sure.
future, right? And also those reflections you have to divide into three things.
Mm.
That day I talk about is one thing is
Yeah.
describing what is what has happened. Describing. And second one is interpretation of this description.
Mm.
And you have to think of be highly conscious about the difference between the description and the interpretation, because we cannot differentiate between those two. As
Mm.
human beings, we cannot describe without interpretation. So if you are a very good reflective writer, reflective writer, you will definitely understand the difference between the description and interpretation.
Mm.
Now,
And
for
what
example, if
happened? Why it happened? Is that so, ma'am?
that's right. Now, for example, okay, if we say that we see a picture of a woman smiling.
Mm.
So if you describe there's a picture of woman smiling, that is the description. If you write, the
Mm.
moment you write, there is a in the picture there is a woman, there is a happy woman.
Mm.
That is
In,
interpretation.
mm.
You don't know. The evaluation is next time. So if you
Mm.
write, okay, the woman is smiling, she is happy. That is a woman is smiling is the description. Interpretation is she is happy. Then evaluation is, okay, I have written the woman is happy. Am
Mm.
I correct? Maybe the woman is smiling sarcastically.
Mm.
Maybe this woman, I mean, when she gets angry, she smiles. There
Mm.
are
Yeah.
some people like that. So
Mm.
critical evaluation is that.
Mm.
So you think of your interpretations. That is metacognitive process. You have learned
Yeah.
those things. Huh? Thinking about the thinking process.
Mm.
Okay, I saw this woman is smiling. My interpretation is she is happy. That is my interpretation. And next moment you have to think back and see, okay, am I correct?
Mm.
Is, is she really happy?
Mm.
Something like that. Is it
Yes, ma'am.
because of the happiness she is smiling? Or because we don't know, this
Angry.
person smiles when she gets angry?
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Mm.
Do you understand now?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
So that is why. So I see that you are not able to write good reflections,
Okay, ma'am. I'll work
right?
on.
And also it's good that you have got your students to reflect.
Yeah.
So these you can teach, you can do a very good lesson on this, don't you think? Now
Yes, ma'am.
give them an activity, describe,
Mm.
and every description there will be an interpretation,
Yeah.
because it's very difficult for us to write something, describe something without our interpretation.
Mm.
You have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
you have to be very critically conscious
Mm.
to avoid interpretation,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So yeah, Very consciously you have to think. So I'm going to your pre-lesson session reflection, Kaumudi. Now, first one, you have written a significant number of students tried their level best, blah, 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 on the very first day. I emphasize on the importance of them to speak must be the main lesson, right? Mama ලියලා තියෙනවා එකේ කවුමුදී try not to make this type of assumptions.
Okay.
Try not, you feel it, but try not to make such assumptions. Good that you give credit to yourself. It's good that you give credit to yourself. But giving, what is more important is giving credit to your students. Understand?
Yeah.
Think about those simple things also, right? It's better try to give it to your students, right? This is where your critical reflection is very essential, right? And also after making this assumption, reflect on, is this assumption okay, right? Am I correct? Something like that. And next one, the second one, you have written that I think my session that focused on collaborative learning, speaking, self-evaluation by students broke the monotonous nature of the student. Did you ask the students about this to clarify?
That means, ma'am?
Now you have written, I think my session that focused on collaborative learning, speaking, and self-evaluation by students broke the monotonous nature of the lesson.
Yeah.
So that is your assumption.
Yes.
Okay, you must have seen everything.
Yeah.
This assumption will be very correct. Must be very correct. I'm not criticizing, but it would have been better if you asked that question from the students.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Ma'am,
How
I
did you
asked
feel?
this question. I asked this question. I asked whether how they find this self-evaluation process, getting you listen to your own things and
So
then
you
you
should
go
have written it now to give evidence. You should have written it. You have done
there
very
are,
good thing.
like, ma'am, there are some students, they are very motivated and they say, even they are not perfect, but still they say, yeah, that's very good because that's the very first time that we encountered such evaluation. But others are, they are good, but they don't say that to my face. But still,
Yeah.
there are people who really embrace that. I don't think they have had that opportunity before.
Yeah. When you are doing these things, it's okay to use mother tongue also. Then they will be more expressive in when you are doing such things. So
Yeah.
maybe that other students are not saying anything because they can't
Yes.
express in English.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. When you are doing this type of reflection thing, get them to speak. I mean, express as much as possible by, I mean, just encouraging them to say it in Sinhala also.
Yeah.
It's okay, right? So you should have written all these things here. Not just writing that my students broke the monotonous nature of the session. Don't just write it. This was evident when I talk to students, when I engage a simple conversation with students about this, and they said something like that. So you give evidence always. Reflections, evaluation part involves giving evidence for your interpretation. You have done interpretation here, no?
Yeah.
This is an interpretation. So give evidence. You have done it. You have collected evidence. You're not just saying, assuming that.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes.
That's, yeah. That the third one you have written blah, 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 blah. So last thing I'm letting the others take time to process and convert their thoughts into words. I continued the discussion and I did not forget to get back to the ones who needed more. Very good decision making I have written, right? Good decision making. Yeah, I'm going to the fourth one. I did not forget to ask them how they felt about speaking activities and blah, 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 right? But I'm sure of the fact that speaking and confidence are that they lack and what they need. So I have written, this is very good. This is very good that you have done this. Getting students to talk directly, right, in the class with the teacher and peers about their speaking experiences must have made them more confident, you know, more closer to the teacher,
Yeah.
right? More rapport with the teacher and also reducing inhibition,
Mm.
right? That's very good. Yeah.
And ma'am, the batch
And
was
then,
also, uh, yeah, sorry to interrupt. And the batch was also very supportive because I was handling
no, no,
the
no, no, you
recording
continue.
also. So when I was using this, what do you call it, the tripod to stand my phone, now the student near the
Hmm.
tripod, he tries to check the angle. If if the angle is not okay, he
Uh-huh.
adjusted it. So they were very supportive because
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good, good. And yeah, and also I have written that in terms of the fifth one, that good you emphasize fluency over accuracy, right? Fluency over accuracy. You don't have to actually in criteria that you have made. You don't have to have this grammar part also. You
Um,
don't have to emphasize much about it because you are
mm,
talking about not accuracy, fluency,
yeah.
the flow,
Mm,
right? So
yes.
better you would have, I mean, given more less emphasis on that criterion.
Mm, mm,
Vocabulary is okay, not
mm,
grammar, right? So good that you positively look at students' performance rather than emphasizing on errors.
mm.
That means, right, would have been much better if you explicitly emphasize that errors are parts of learning, not to hesitate to make grammatical errors, though the rubrics say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.